Alright, so for the first 3-day cycle, we will need to, let's see, we need to get the one fairy, and during the day the fairy's in the laundry pool, during the night the fairy's in East Clocktown. We need to get that fairy, need to return that fairy to the Great Fairy Fountain, so we can get our magic meter. We need to blow up the balloon in North Clocktown. We need to find all 5 of the bomber kids, enter their hideout, use the telescope to look at the Skull Kid. Get the Moon's Tear, give the Moon's Tear to the Deku Scrub, and then enter the clock tower once it hits midnight on the final day. That's the basic overview of what we need to do on the first 3-day cycle, and I think that's pretty much all we do this whole video. So, as you all saw, I got the fairy in the laundry pool. So now we gotta head to the Great Fairy Fountain in North Clocktown. Yeah, fun stuff. So, just shut up. So once we get in here, your fairy will automatically rejoin with the rest. You'll reform the Great Fairy. She'll give you a magic meter, and you'll now be able to shoot bubbles as a Deku Scrub. And as Human Link, you'll be able to do your basic spin attack. And one thing to note is you'll want to get this fairy again and return it, because once you become a human, that is, because once you do that, you'll get your very first mask, which is actually quite useful in the dungeons. Anyway, we just got our magic meter. Bubble blasts. Alright. So, now, like I said, the next thing we have to do is blow up that balloon in North Clocktown. And we can now do that with our bubble attack. Because, apparently bubbles are able to blow up balloons. Who would have thought? That'll impress Jim. I think his name is Jim. You can talk to him. He'll challenge you to a hide-and-seek thingy. Accept it. And you have to find all 5 bombers before the next morning. It's relatively simple. First one's literally to your right. Right there. I let him get away. But then he basically corners himself. The next one is in the corner, but first we're gonna get Tingle. This is Tingle's first appearance in the series, I believe. And although he wasn't terribly frightening in this game, he got way worse. Like, I think Wind Waker Tingle was a million times creepier. And then every Tingle thereafter is at least equal in creepiness. I don't know what they were thinking when they made this guy. I really don't. So here's another bomber in the corner. He's easy to pick off. There's 2 more bombers in East Clocktown, so let's grab those. There's none in South Clocktown, and the final one is in West Clocktown. Fail. That was pretty easy. Just so you know, it is possible for the bombers to hide in those boxes, so if you happen to lose one, it might not hurt checking out those boxes, seeing if they're in there. But I don't think I have that issue, because this one corners himself. And that is all the bombers in East Clocktown. So now on to West Clocktown. Oh my goodness. Now, West Clocktown features the game's bank, which I think this is the only spot in the series where the bank appears, and rightfully so, since this is the only game in the series where you have a time mechanic thingy. But the bank is useful. You can store rupees, withdraw them, you know, just like any bank, except most banks take money, not imaginary currency. But I digress. So once you catch all 5 bombers, they'll reveal the code to you, and my code is 54132. Yours is going to be different, more than likely. So just keep that in mind. The last time I played through this game, interestingly enough, my code was 54321. Or maybe it was 12345. It was either 54321 or 12345. Never seen it before. It was probably the coolest thing I've ever seen. I mean, seriously, what are the chances? Anyway, now that we have the code, we can enter their hideout. So let's do that. 54132. In my case, again, you're I almost guarantee you 99% chance you're gonna have a different code than me. So, yeah, make sure you keep that in mind. And if you do happen to forget your code, go talk to any of the 5 bombers. I believe they'll repeat the code for you. And then once you're a human link, you can do it again, and they'll give you a notebook, and inside that notebook will be the code, so you can look at it at any time. But, yeah. So we're inside the hideout. We're gonna blow up a balloon again. Grab some stuff, and then head on up. So here we are. Here's a scarecrow. I actually use him to forward to the night of the final day, because after this, all I have to do is grab the moon's tear, so no point in sitting around for minutes doing absolutely nothing. Even though this kind of is that. Night of the first day, woo! I was hoping that the rupees in the pots would respawn, so that's why I said no. But as you can see, they do not respawn, so onward to dawn the second day. Oh my goodness, this sucks. Freaking scarecrow. One more time. Just one more time. Perfect. One interesting thing to note is on the first 3-day cycle, this one, where you're stuck as a Deku scrub, I believe time moves faster than normal. That is, once you get into the regular cycles, you'll notice that, well, you might not notice, but I believe time moves slower when your time icon is green. But that's just because, you know, of the situation. If that makes sense. Anyway, yeah, you want to look in the telescope, look at Skull Kid, then he'll summon, I assume he's the one who summons this moon tier. Moon tier will land literally right in front of the observatory. You can just go outside, grab it, and head back to Clocktown. That's freaking creepy. So, back to Clocktown. Yada-da-da-da. Thankfully, the rupees do respawn this time. Oh my goodness. So, how about that Link to the Past sequel, huh? Any thoughts on that? Yes, no, maybe so. I think it looks pretty neat. But, yeah. I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see what it turns out to be. Alright, so this is going to be the first time we use the bank. I'm just going to deposit all my rupees. One thing to know, if you restart a cycle, a 3-day cycle, you're going to lose everything. Well, not everything, you're going to lose all your, like, disposable items. You're going to lose your arrows, you're going to lose your bombs, you're going to lose your rupees, you're going to lose all that sort of stuff. You'll still keep your bow, your bomb bag, all that kind of stuff, but just be aware of that. So whenever you're about to restart a cycle, it'd be a good idea to head to the bank and deposit whatever you've accumulated over the 3-day cycle. So here's the Deku scrub. I guess he's technically a business scrub. He wants a moon tier, give him the moon tier. He will give you land title deed, and now you can use this flower to get up to the clock tower. Perfection. Oh, and you can also get your first piece of heart. Woohoo! Whatever.